It's not about how much you make, it's about how you manage what you make. That single line separates the top 1% from everyone else. Most people think wealth is about earning more. The big salary, the side hustles, the multiple income streams, and yes, earning matters, but earning is just the first half of the story. The real secret, the part that most people miss, is in how you handle your money once it arrives. Because the truth is, even a huge income can disappear fast if it's managed badly, and even an average income can grow into something incredible if it's managed smartly. Think about it. We all know someone who earns a lot but always seems broke. They get their paycheck and it's gone in days. And then there's someone else who doesn't earn nearly as much but always seems calm, secure, and building something bigger every year. That's not luck. That's management. And that's exactly how the top 1% operate. They don't just react to money, they direct it. Every dollar has a job, a purpose, a plan. They follow systems that make sure their money grows instead of disappearing. One of the simplest, most powerful systems that reflects how the 1% think is something I like to call the 75-10-15 rule. And when you understand it, it completely changes how you see money, because this rule isn't about restriction, it's about structure. It gives you control, clarity, and calm. Here's how it works. The first 75% of your income goes toward the things you need to live, the fundamentals. Rent, groceries, utilities, transportation, maybe your phone bill or insurance, the core things that keep your life running. These are your foundation expenses, but here's where most people go wrong. They let this category swallow everything. The moment they get a raise, they upgrade something, bigger apartment, newer phone, fancier meals. The problem? Their lifestyle expands as fast as their income, and they never actually move forward. The top 1% think differently. They set a limit. Even as their income grows, they live comfortably within that 75% zone. That's how they create space, financial breathing room. Because wealth doesn't come from what you earn, it comes from what you keep. And when you consciously cap your lifestyle, you start noticing something powerful, like peace. You're not scrambling at the end of every month. You're not stressing over every bill. You know what your essentials are and they're covered. That's step one, stability. Now, the next 10%, this is where your safety net comes in. I call it the cushion fund. Think of it as your personal insurance policy, your emergency parachute. Life has a way of throwing surprises. Job loss, medical emergencies, car repairs, sudden bills. And if you don't have a cushion, even a small problem can send you spiraling into debt or panic. So here's what the 1% do. They build a 5-month cushion fund. Simple math. Take your total monthly expenses, rent, bills, groceries, everything, and multiply it by 5. That's your target. That's the amount that can carry you through tough times without fear. When you have that, you walk differently. You breathe differently because you know if life hits hard, you've got time. You're not desperate. You can think clearly. But here's the interesting twist. Once you've built that 5-month emergency fund, that 10% doesn't just stop working. You repurpose it. Instead of letting it sit idle, you turn it into what I call guilt-free enjoyment. This is where you use money to recharge your energy and motivation. Take that trip you've wanted, sign up for a course, buy a better laptop, or invest in something that helps you grow. Because money that only works for bills burns you out. But money that also supports your happiness keeps you inspired to keep going. That's the mindset of balance. The top 1% know that wealth isn't about constant saving and sacrifice. It's about sustainability. You can't just build wealth. You have to enjoy life while building it. That's what keeps you consistent. Now, the last 15%, and this is where everything changes. This is the part that separates the financially free from the financially stuck. This 15% is your future. This is where your money starts working for you. Here's the part that most people underestimate: time. The earlier you start using that 15% for investing, the more powerful it becomes. Not because you're putting in more, but because you're giving your money more time to grow. Let's put that into perspective. Imagine two people, let's call them Maya and Jordan. Maya starts investing at age 25. She puts in $500 every month and earns an average return of 7% a year. Jordan, on the other hand, starts later, at 35, but he doubles his investment, putting in $1,000 every month with the same 7% return. You'd think Jordan would catch up, right? But here's the crazy part. By the time they both reach 60, Maya, who started earlier with half the amount, ends up with more money. Why? Because of compounding. That's the magic the top 1% understand deeply. Compounding doesn't reward how much you invest, it rewards how long you invest. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It starts small, but as it rolls, it grows faster and faster. The earlier you start, the longer that snowball gets to roll. That's why the 1% don't wait until later to invest. They start small, but they start early. They focus on owning assets, things that grow in value or pay them back over time. That could be stocks, index funds, rental properties, or even building a small business that earns them passive income. They don't let their money nap in a savings account. They make it work quietly, steadily, and relentlessly. That's how the 1% buy freedom. Not flashy cars or expensive watches. Time to choose how they spend their days. Time to make decisions from a place of peace instead of pressure. That's the real wealth. When you start following this 75-10-15 rule, everything begins to shift. You'll feel more in control. You'll stop being reactive with money. No more, where did it all go moments. Instead, you'll know exactly where every dollar is going and why. And the best part, you won't feel guilty about spending. Because your spending has structure, it has purpose. The rule gives you a balance. 75% keeps your life stable, 10% protects and energizes you, and 15% builds your future. It's like a three-legged stool, like take away any leg and it wobbles. Keep all three strong and it stands solid no matter what life throws your way. And here's something important. You don't need to be rich to start this. You don't even need to have everything perfectly figured out. You can begin right now with whatever you have. Even if you can't hit the exact percentages, the mindset is what matters. Live on less than you make, build a cushion before the storm hits, and start investing, even if it's small, because wealth doesn't appear overnight. It builds quietly in the background while everyone else is chasing shiny distractions. It's built through habits. The boring, consistent kind that compound over time. So here's my challenge for you. Take a look at your income this week and break it down using this rule. Where is your 75% going? Do you actually know your true monthly expenses? How close are you to that 5-month emergency cushion? And are you using that last 15% to build your future, or just letting it sit there, waiting? Like, if you make even one small shift today, like if you just start being intentional with your money, you're already doing what most people never do. You're managing your money like the top 1%. Remember this, the goal isn't to have more money. The goal is to have more control over your money, because when you control it, you can direct it toward your goals, your peace, and your freedom. So if this video gave you that light bulb moment, hit that like button, subscribe for more real-world money strategies, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because once you learn to manage your money like the 1%, you'll never go back to living paycheck to paycheck. You'll finally understand what true financial freedom feels like: calm, clear, and in control.